Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. In this episode we are finally going to orbit and land on Mun. Now I have already done this. Unfortunately the video got corrupted along with the third episode of Cars. So we are going to redo it just to do it. So that I can record it, let you guys see how I do it. Alright, so which one was the one that... Was it this one? No. I'll find it. Don't worry. Maybe this one. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty much like it. Nah, that one didn't have any. Yeah, it does. The whole thing. The whole thing does. All right, I think that might be the one that I used because I wanted to take two guys with me, so that I could do science and pilot also. As you can see, all my guys have gotten stars up except for old Bob. We're going to take him with us, get him leveled up, and everybody else will have a star plus some. Alright, I think this was the one that we used, that we got there. But my only concern is I wanted to go with a whole new, lifting platform. This platform did pretty well to get us there. But the problem with it is that we get too much speed exiting the atmosphere and everything starts to heat up some, which you're not supposed to do. And number two is that we barely make it there and land and barely make it back. So I would like to do some other stuff. Maybe go with a whatchamacallit, what's it called? I can't remember the name now, but I've got one saved. An asparagus stage lifter. Now what that is where you take multiple, rocket tanks and stuff and fuel tanks, and then you run gas from them into nearby, and they empty out in stage sets instead of all of them emptying out at one time. To lift that up a little bit, it was too low. Instead of all of them emptying out at the same time, what happens is that they all empty out at different times. Now another thing that we could do, we've just got too many of these. 6 of these, it's plenty of lift, 2.2 TWR, but then our next that sec thingy or whatever is only at 1. So we got to figure out that. We got to get that up a little bit, and then we should be okay. I don't think I have a better engine yet, but let's look just in case I did. Reliant, Skipper, the Swivel, and the Poodle. Yep, the Poodle's the best one the Skipper is the biggest one that I've got right now. So I think I'm going to remake all of this from here down in an asparagus staging set and see how it goes from there. So I will be right back after I make it, and then we will go over it for a few seconds and then launch it and see how it works. So I'll be right back. Alright folks, and we are back. Check out this here shippy. Alright, so what we've got is we have got an asparagus rocket cluster in the middle with solid rocket boosters on the outside just to help it get up some basic speed so that I can control it. One thing that I want to try is I want to take these guys and multiply them. There we go. And get in a little closer so I can see. Shift. That'll work, I guess. Yeah, it'll work. Alright, so now we got them fins. That might help some. As you can see, they're in 2 sets of 4, basically. These inner rockets. These are. And what it is it's rocket number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And then it's just mirrored on the other side. Now what makes this an asparagus stage rocket is that this rocket is giving fuel to this rocket. This rocket is then giving fuel to this rocket. This rocket is then giving fuel to this rocket. And then this rocket is giving fuel to the center tanks to propel this thruster. So what happens, what all this actually does, to break it down real simple like, is that basically this fuel tank is going to run empty first. Because this tank is burning fuel, and it's also giving fuel to this tank, which is also giving fuel to this tank, and on down the line. This one is not receiving fuel from anybody, so it's going to burn out first, along with the mirror on the other side. So you will jettison and launch these two, which it's right there. Actually, it's right there. We'll release this whole rocket by itself, and along with that other one. Then this one is burning fuel with its rocket, plus pumping it out to this tank. It is not receiving any fuel from anywhere else, so this one and its counterpart on the other side will burn out next. And then I have them set to bust off right there. And then so on and so forth until we've got nothing left but our center tank, which will still be pretty close to full because it will be sucking fuel from down the line. So it won't be completely full, but it should be really relatively close. And then we'll have all that fuel to go up. Now if we check our TWRs, we're at 1.9, 1.95, 1.3, 1.18, 1.12. So we're above 1 on all stages except for 3, which is meant for space anyway, so that is fine. So everything basically has enough thrust. Anything above 1 means that it has enough thrust to circumvent Kerbin's gravity. Kerbin's pulling it back to Earth. So you need, and initially on this first stage, you want above about 1.4, 1.5, preferably even higher if you can. And that's just to give you that initial boost to get up off the ground, to get some speed going, so that you can start maneuvering the ship and all that other good stuff. So yeah, let's get to it. Now what we're going to do in this, end up cutting this video into about 2 or 3 parts, because we're going to accomplish a lot of stuff in this one video. We're going to launch, complete an orbit around Kerbin, or at least partial orbit, and then we are going to rendezvous with Mun, and then we are going to land on Mun, and then we are going to return home. Now I've already done all of this, unfortunately, off camera, or I did it on camera, but the videos got messed up. So I can't repeat the science and all of it, but I can still get a little bit of science and stuff while we're there, hence why we brought Bob with us. And a lot of this stuff that I've already done in the past, like I'm going to show getting into orbit, and then I'm going to set up a maneuver to maneuver towards Mun, and then I'm going to, because we've already orbited, we orbited Mun, we did a flyby. So then I'm going to stop recording, I'm going to get to Mun, then record some more, go in for a landing, record that, and then take off, and then set an intercept course with Kerbin, and then probably stop, and then when I land at Kerbin, or whatever, however it works out. But all the, or cut out all of the, you know, the slow parts, because these videos were, you know, the other videos that I had, it was like an hour just to get to Kerbin, or I mean to get to Mun, and to orbit it, and then return home. Took about an hour's worth of recording. Probably because I talk too damn much. But here we go. See, them solid rocket boosters give me a bunch of power on the start. Normally without them, I would probably be at about 15 or 20 meters per second right now. And that's all that they are, is that initial... Oh, why is it backwards this time? Not quite sure. So we're going to bust them loose, and then there goes the first 2. There's the first stage of the asparagus set. Now I'm going to check the map because it looks like we're going backwards. No, we're not. Somehow we just got on the wrong, looking the wrong way. Yeah. We're good. So I'm going to lay us over and get us some speed. Lots and lots of speed. Because I have kind of sort of figured out this whole takeoff thing. As soon as you hit 1,500 meters per second orbital speed, you can be aimed anywhere. So after about 1,000, you really want to lay down and kind of follow this, because that way you're steadily picking up speed. But you got to be real careful when you start doing that. See, right now, as long as you stay above this line right here, this 45-degree line or whatever, as long as you stay above it, you're pushing more up than you are out, meaning that you won't reach your apoapsis. You won't connect with it. It'll always be out ahead of you. And although it's going kind of slow, it's still staying out there, and that's the important part. Now right here, for some reason, this ship gets a little bit, and I can see why. These rockets are bouncing all around, and they all need to be bound down. They're not bound down very well. So we're, surface speed still. How high are we now? It's now at 31. And we're not catching it, so we're okay. 600 surface. What's our orbital? 800. So I'm going to hold off just a little bit until we launch these other two rockets off. And then once we do, then I'm going to layer over and kind of start approaching, heading towards my prograde to start picking up speed. And I can actually probably start doing that now. I'm just waiting to jettison these off so they don't hit the rocket on accident. And so they're almost out of fuel there. Come on, baby. Just missed. There you go. Good job. Now I'm going to level us out. And we need to just start laying over. So we're going at about 10. Now at this point, I'm going to start catching my apoapsis. Watch my time. 32. 31. But that's all right, because as soon as I hit about 1,500 meters per second, that's going to change. The closer you get to pointing toward this, the faster you start going. Or the faster you pick up speed, basically. See right there, 25 seconds, and it says I'm going to hit it. But watch. There's 1,400. Can't see. 1,500. We'll pick it back just a hair because we're just a little bit too much. There we go. There, now it's starting to go out. 1,600. And you can just kind of tinker with it on this line, back and forth, just to keep it out in front of you. 17. And it's about, what I'm doing now is I'm doing both of my burns, basically. I'm not only extending my orbit out, I'm also taking it higher. And this is very, very fuel conservative. Very, it's works really well for me. Doing it like this is about the only way that I was able to get this into space with enough fuel to, we could back off just a little bit because we got plenty of speed. Watch it just go. And you start watching over here. Watch my apoapsis, my periapsis. My periapsis is fit to start jumping. So 64, 70, just watch it go. There it goes. Now what I want to do is I want to break up here. Normally I would, and I'd set me another one. You can just set one right up here to burn. Add you a little maneuver, and pull your periapsis out. And it'd be real simple to do. It's not going to take very much gas either. 6 whole seconds. And look how much fuel we have left. 2738 units. Tons of fuel. But what we can also do here is we can go ahead and expand this out. We can set this as our target. Click on this. Kick this out. And go ahead and set up our rendezvous. So now we just got to find out where we're going to touch it. Where are we going to touch it? Hello, there you go, Mr. Moon. All right, I just want to get a good little connection. We're going to connect there, and I can make micro adjustments when we get out there. So, I mean, I'll see you guys. You've seen me do this. So I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna connect with Mun, and when I get to Mun, I'll be back. So I'll be right back, y'all. All right, folks, we're heading there. We're slowly getting there, and as you can see out here, there's Mun. And I've got my my little rendezvous set up that I showed you. It's a little bit far out here, 820 meters, but it's all right. We'll tighten it up. We've got a ton of fuel left still. Well, we got enough fuel left still that we should be able to at least get our orbit done with the tank that we've got on before we jettison it, and then we have just our lander. So you got to be real careful about time warping here, because you can warp right past your point. Now watch what happens here. Just like last time, as soon as we hit this, it's going to shift around this way. Right about now. There we go. Now what I want to do is slow down, and we can set us up a little maneuver right here, and basically use it to tighten our orbit, which ain't too bad. About a 19-second burn. We got plenty of fuel for that. So we'll bring that in pretty tight. About there, I guess. Yeah, about 30K would be fine. Now let's stay out some, about 50, 60. There we go. All right, so let's line up for this maneuver. And this is where I'm going to fast forward for you.
That way we're going to be down here back up there, good name. That's your pop. Phải chịu những con trụ ý nếp xây nó báo đi mau. Jag ringer Mackerskatt till vad jag vänder till. Det blir så här var när du fick mycket stävar, det kan se åt mig och en säger i maten.
Alright, there we go. So we've got us a nice little orbit around Mun. If we get out and look, we can see where we're at. There we go. Big old Mun, little old us. So, and we've still got fuel. We've still got 1,000 units of fuel left in this. Unfortunately, at this point, all that we can do is discard it. Now, for future reference, for those of y'all that care, if you brought this extra fuel like this, it's 1,000 units of fuel. Don't sound like all that much. Well, what I could have done was if I'd have had two of the docking ports connecting my shuttle or my lander to this rocket, like right here, if I'd have put a docking point on the bottom of this pointing that way and a docking port here pointing that way, I could have then reinforced it with some metal struts, tied them down to it, gotten it up here. I could have undocked, landed, come back up, recoupled. I just didn't know I was going to have 1,000 units of fuel left. But I could have then got up and then redocked with it after I'd landed, refueled completely, and then took off for home and had that extra fuel. See, I wasn't expecting to have any extra fuel, so you know I didn't put the docking ports on there. I've got the medium docking things. I think I've got the junior and the regular dockatrons now. I just wasn't prepared for it. But beyond all that, it's time to say, you know, 1,000 is not a lot. Really, it's not. But actually, yeah, we got about 208, 860. I can't tell. That might be counting my fuel too. So no, never mind. This once I blow this free, that fuel that I've got left is all in my ship. So I've only got 63 units of fuel at 1,000. I wish it would show you only what you've got, you know, in the current stage and back, instead of showing you everything. That's kind of, well, I guess it does. Nope, see, it still shows me 1,000. I'm not in the stage that activates these, and it still shows them. Anyhow. Alright, I'm mistaken. Anyhow, let's go. And that'll be it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.